the other day, President Obama came out and said, hey, we can't talk about discriminating against refugees based on their religion. We can't say, hey, just let the Christians in, but don't let the Muslims in. Now, Rush Limbaugh was very upset about this. He felt the president was making that up. Here, let's go to Rush.
This is Obama tougher on Republicans than he ever is on ISIS. This is a press conference at the G20 summit. He then lectured everybody on how we have to accept Muslims as well as Christians, or we're all just a bunch of bigots.
When I hear folks say that, well, maybe we should just admit the Christians but not the Muslims, when I hear political leaders suggesting that there would be a religious test, that's shameful. That's not American. It's not who we are.
By the way, can anybody tell me who is it? He says political leaders suggesting that there should be a religious test for these refugees. We should admit the Christians, not the Muslims. Who said that? Do you know anybody who said it? Well, I can't think of anybody who has. You know, I wish he would name names when he starts alleging all of these bigots are out there. I want to know who he's talking about. But I'll guarantee you this, the low information crowd in the Democrat Party thinks he's talking about Republicans. And that's the whole purpose of the comment. But he won't name names, all these imaginary bigots out there.
Imaginary bigots. Someone saying that we should not let in the Muslims but let in the Christians. Name names. Nobody ever said that, right? Well, it would be my pleasure, Rush. So we go to a CNN report. Ted Cruz, like other Republican hardliners, has argued that the risk of Islamic militants infiltrating the refugee population is too high for America to accept them with open arms. On the stump across South Carolina, Cruz argued that the percentage of refugees that are young men suggests that ISIS may look to take advantage of any relaxation to immigration laws. Now, so far, like the other Republicans, no, hell no to refugees. Here comes the distinction. The Texas senator instead thinks that Muslims fleeing Syrian civil war should be repopulated to other Muslim countries. But the Christian population, he believes, has nowhere else to go. And Cruz batted away concerns by telling reporters in Myrtle Beach on Sunday that Christians pose no meaningful risk to national security. In other words, and now, by the way, he has introduced a bill to the same effect, saying, yeah, I would like to be bigoted. No Muslims, but let's do a religious test. And then if they pass the religious test and we can really verify that they're Christian, then we're going to let them into the country. What happened, Rush? I thought there was nobody saying it. I thought the Democrats were making it up to make the Republicans look bad. See, we don't have to do that. Republicans look bad all on their own. Okay, not just Ted Cruz, by the way. Here's Rupert Murdoch, who, of course, is the owner eventually of Fox News Channel. He put out a tweet. Obama facing enormous opposition in accepting refugees. Maybe make special exception for proven Christians. So, exception for Christians, not just Christians, though, proven Christians. You've got to really prove yourself. Papers! Okay, let's separate out the religions, everybody. This worked out great last time. So, okay, now, some of you go over there and wear something, and some of you come over here, and you guys are the good guys, and so come on in. Now, imagine if they did the same thing. And this is somebody on during the live show yesterday tweeted this out to us, right? So imagine if they did the same thing during World War II. Well, you know, the Christians will allow, but everybody else, you got to go back. Oh, to send them back to the Nazis, though, that's horrible. Who are we sending Syrian refugees from? They're running from ISIS. These are the same guys calling ISIS the same thing as Nazis. You're sending them back to ISIS. Well, no, you know what they would have said back then? You can't, they're all from Germany. You can't tell them apart. I can't tell the Jews apart from the Germans. Sometimes they look the same. I can't tell. The good proven Christians will take, everybody else go back, right? You go ahead and cry about how that's an unfair comparison. Even Rush was crying, oh no, we would never do that. We're not bigoted like that. Yes, you are. You're introducing legislation to that effect. Okay, so you got Cruz, you got Murdoch. Now let's go to Chris Christie. Would you let any Syrian refugees in? Watch.
I do not trust this administration to effectively vet the people who are proposed to be coming in order to protect the safety and security of the American people, so I would not permit them in.
What if they were orphans under the age of 5?
You know, Hugh, we could come up with 18 different scenarios. The fact is that we need appropriate vetting, and I don't think orphans under 5 are being, should be admitted into the United States at this point. But, they have no family here. How are we going to care for these folks?
I don't care who they are. They're kids, they're orphans, their parents were killed by ISIS. I have no mercy, I have no soul. I don't care what it says on the Statue of Liberty of taking your poor, your wretched refuse. Give them to me and I will present them a golden door. No, we didn't mean it. We're not really Americans. That's exactly why President Obama was right on this issue. Chris Christie, Ted Cruz, all these guys, they are deeply un-American. They do believe in religious tests. They do believe in bigotry. They do believe in keeping people out of this country, denying them opportunity. They don't really believe in the American dream. They don't really believe in equality. That's why they say the things that they say, and they're proud to say it.